Hi guys, welcome back. So today we're going to touch base on part 2 of the resort category differences. On the last video, it was part 1, and we discussed the value, the moderate, and the deluxes and the differences in those. So today in part 2, we're going to touch base on the campground, the extras that you get in all the resort categories, and then we're also going to touch base on touch base on the Good Neighbor resorts. I'm not going to go into a lot on those, but we will touch base a little bit on what we get in those. So let's get started on those. So we're going to start off with the campground. The campground, and I touched a little bit on the cabins and the moderate on part 1, so I'll put a link on that in the description below. So if you want to see a little bit more on the cabins and what you get in that, watch the part 1 video, and you can see a little bit on the cabins in the moderate section of part 1's video. But this is going to touch base just on the campground in general. So the campground, when you stay in the campgrounds, Fort Wilderness Campgrounds and cabins, the campground, you can come in and just do a full-on camping experience, which is really neat. Your family can pitch a tent. They can bring a whole camper. So you can do a pull behind your truck type camper, bring a full camper in, which is really neat. And also in Fort Wilderness, while you were there, they have horseback riding, they have hiking trails, they have bike trails, they have tons of restaurants on there, they have showers and things. So if you are, you are pitching a tent, they do have areas where you can take showers and things like that, so you don't have to worry about that. Bathrooms are on property, so plenty of places for that. They do have 2 pools. They have places where you can do your grocery shopping. There are, like I said, restaurants, multiple restaurants. They have 2 entrances. The main entrance is where you obviously check in. Then they have another entrance in the back where you can go off and get a boat to Magic Kingdom. There's also another entrance for busing that they can take to get to other parts of the parks. There is internal bus system, so if you can also rent golf carts or bring your own golf cart if you have one, so that way you can get around Fort Wilderness. It is a huge layout, so to get in and around there. They have the cabin sections, so that way they can keep the people that are staying in the cabin separate from those that are pitching a tent and those that are staying on in campers. So like I said, this property alone with the campground and cabins is so large in and of itself. So it's internal and external bus system to get in and around there. But it is so beautiful. You have to go and experience it, and you can. We have gone, Hoop-Dee-Doo Review is a dining experience there. It's a dinner and a show, and it is really neat to go see. They dance around, they sing songs, they get the crowd involved in it. Really good food, fried chicken and ribs, and it's all you can eat, family style. Really neat. So that's something for your family to go and see one night. You can rent boats there, take them out. Carriage rides, so that's really neat. Horseback carriage rides. There's so much that you can do there. Certain times a year they do golf cart parades, so you can decorate your golf carts, and they do little golf cart parades, so that's kind of neat to do with your family. I think they do that around Christmas time, 4th of July, Halloween, sometimes I think they do it, so that's kind of neat to see and do. So if you bring your golf cart or rent a golf cart, you can kind of do that. And if you go to the parks, so if you're staying in the inside of the, like your campsite is on the inside, you just drive it to the front of the park, catch your bus, and you just park your golf cart there. When you come back in the night, it's still parked right there. You just have your name on the outside of the golf cart, and obviously nobody's going to take it because you have your keys to it. It's a fun experience. You have to try it at least once to stay at the campground. It's something, your family's just really going to enjoy. And like I said, the description below will be there for the campground. So that way you can, or for the cabin, so you can see what the cabin's experience is and see what you can get for the cabins. If you have any other questions about the campsite or the campground in general and want to know more, leave a comment below, and I can get some more information on that. And like I said, you can go and just experience the campsite and not go to the parks at all, or you can go and do the parks included. It's completely up to you, and how you want to enjoy the Disney camping. So let's go on to the next section and see what we have there, which is the extras. All the Disney resorts have microwaves. I think I might have touched base on that in part 1, but I'm going to touch base on it again just in case I might have left that out. So all the resorts in the value, moderate, and the deluxes have a refrigerator. So you get a mini fridge in all of them. Microwaves are not included in those. They are only included in the suites. So family suites and the big villas and things, those you get microwaves. So any of the basic resorts rooms, you do not get microwaves. That's just something that the rooms are not big enough for microwaves in all of them. So family suites or villas and things like that, you get microwaves. Something neat to experience at some of the resorts are nighttime movies. Those are fun and exciting for families to do at night. You come back from the parks at the end of the night and you can lay out in the grass and they project movies up on the side of the buildings. Some of the resorts they have screens up, but I believe most of them they put them up on the side of the buildings. So that's kind of neat. Some of them they are close to the pools, so sometimes you can see them from the pools, so that's kind of neat. All of the resorts have some form of a playground and an arcade. I know like Art of Animation, their playground is the Lion King area, so it's an elephant graveyard, so that's kind of neat. So it's not like an actual playground, but the kids get to play around in an elephant. They took their elephant graveyard and turned it into a playground, so that is cool. The kids get to experience an elephant graveyard playground. There's other activities. To take a look in your lobby if it's going to be a rainy day or a break day for you. A lot of my clients, they'll schedule so many days at the park, and then in the middle of their week they have what's called their break day. They don't want to go to the parks, so they just do their break day. So on their break day they just hang out at the resort. They'll swim. They might go to Disney Springs in the evening for dinner, or they'll go to character dining at one of the other resorts, but they want to know what's going on, what activities are there to do at my resort. In your resort lobby, there will be a schedule on a wall, and it's on like a little digital TV, and it'll tell you all the activities that are going on at your resort. So take a look at that. There's all different kinds of things. Some resorts have different showcases going on, different activities going on at the pools, different, there might be drawings going on. They might have people coming in and drawing characters. So different things going on that you want to take advantage of, dance parties, things like that. So take a look at those and see what's going on. Your kids don't want to miss those, and you don't want to miss them. So take a look at those and take advantage of those free activities for your kids to do. Arcades, those are at the resorts, so those are some fun little things that the kids can do. We take advantage of those, especially, you're at the end of the day, on checkout day, your room is done, but you still have like an hour to kill before you have to check out on the Magical Express. So we'll just hang out at the arcade, and the kids get, spend a little bit of extra money, just be bopping around the arcade. They think it's just something fun. So we normally schedule that as our like last little bit of time before we have to check out. That's it on that. As far as the Good Neighbor resorts, like I said, I don't want to touch too much time on the Good Neighbor resorts. I want to do another video on those later, but Disney has a lot of Good Neighbor resorts, and that includes the Dolphin and the Swan, and there's also like a Hilton and a couple others. Plus there's like 20 some other resorts around Disney, but it's not on property, that we like to work with. Those resorts are what we consider our Good Neighbor resorts. Disney likes to work with these resorts, but they're not considered Disney resorts. They're not on property. They don't get as many perks and bonuses that Disney uses. And this is why I don't really want to touch base on all of this right now. I want to do another vlog on this, so that way I can give you the bonuses, the perks and the perks and the non-perks, and what you get out of booking on property and what you get out of not booking on property type thing. But there are some properties that you can book with, and in case, those Disney properties, the values, the Von Erts and the Deluxes just aren't meeting your budget. There are good neighbor resorts that Disney would rather you work with because Disney values them. That's why there are good neighbors. So we would rather you use them because Disney just has established a good relationship with them. So that's why there are good neighbor resorts. So so take a look at those or with us, and let me help you find one of these resorts that we would rather you work with. They're, like we said, there are friends. And let us help you find those. They're going to be better for you. We've built a relationship, a good repertoire with them. So, and we can find a good resort with them. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with these resorts. A lot of them have great pools, great restaurants. They're bigger. Some of them have bigger places for your families. If you have a bigger family and Disney can't accommodate them. So let's look at one of the good neighbors. They might have bigger villas to hold larger families. Some of them have bigger kitchens, that type of thing that maybe your family needs and Disney still can't accommodate that. So we can look at the good neighbor, but you might not get as many of the perks of what Disney can do, but maybe you're not, that's okay with you. So there's, perks and there's non-perks about it, but your family's okay with that. But again, I don't want to go into that. So I'm going to do another vlog in a couple weeks, about, the differences of staying on property versus staying off property. And that's where the good neighbor tidbits are going to come in a little bit more on that. And that's why I don't want to go into too much on that right now. So, but that's going to be the end of this vlog. Like I said, this one's going to be a lot shorter than the first one. I think the first one was like 20 minutes. This one's going to be, 12, 13 minutes. So a little bit shorter, but that's going to be the end of this. If you have any questions about anything with the campground, anything with the extras, you want me to touch anything on the good neighbors and the upcoming video, leave a comment below so that way I know what to touch base on. That any other questions for any of the other vlogs before, leave a comment below and I will touch base on that. Other than that, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Be on the lookout. We are getting ready to travel to Disney. Yay! So you don't want to miss any videos coming up, and you don't want any of your friends to miss any of those. So be on the lookout for those. Make sure you watch my Facebook, my Instagram, because there's going to be lots of videos, live streams on those also, because I might be able to get those on faster than I can on YouTube. So make sure you stay focused on those too. So in the meantime, I will see you guys later, and other than that, see ya.